Cottage cheese is supposed to be 3 ingredients: milk, cream, salt. That's the entire recipe. Farmers made it in buckets. Your great-grandmother made it on the stove. It requires no equipment, no aging, and no ingredients that didn't come from a cow. Open a tub of Breakstone's 2% low-fat cottage cheese and read the back. It's a small novella of 10 ingredients. One of them is an antifungal drug used in medicine to treat fungal infections of the eye and skin. And it's in your cottage cheese? Subscribe and let's open that tub and let's out how that happened. What they put in, where the cream used to be? Cottage cheese is one of the oldest fresh cheeses in existence and one of the simplest foods ever made. You warm milk to a specific temperature, introduce acid or bacterial culture, and the milk proteins begin to coagulate into soft white curds, while the liquid whey separates out. You drain the whey, cut the curds to size, rinse them, and add a cream dressing and salt that coats the curds and gives them their mild, slightly tangy richness. When a food company decides to make a low-fat version of that product, they remove the cream. The texture collapses, the flavor goes flat, and what's left is something nobody would buy. So they reach for the toolkit. And the first thing out of it is natamycin, a pharmaceutical antifungal agent produced by the bacteria Streptomyces natalensis. It's used in medicine to treat fungal infections of the eye and skin. In food manufacturing, it's applied to dairy products to prevent mold growth and extend shelf life. The FDA approves its use as a food additive at specific concentrations. It appears on Breakstone's 2% low-fat cottage cheese as natamycin, a natural mold inhibitor, a parenthetical designed to make an antifungal drug sound like a wellness ingredient. Natural, in this context, means it's derived from a bacterial fermentation process rather than synthesized in a lab. That distinction is meaningful in regulatory terms. Your immune system doesn't know the difference. You're eating a pharmaceutical antifungal in your morning protein bowl because the low-fat dairy product has a compromised natural environment, that full-fat cottage cheese doesn't require the same chemical protection to survive. Full-fat cottage cheese, when made properly, doesn't typically need natamycin. The cream provides a natural protective environment. Remove the cream, and the product becomes more vulnerable. Add an antifungal drug to compensate. Put natural mold inhibitor in parentheses, so nobody asks questions. Natamycin is the most alarming ingredient on the Breakstone's label, but it's not doing the most work. That job belongs to the industrial hydrocolloids, the gums and starches that replace the texture the cream used to provide. Modified food starch is chemically or physically altered starch used to add body and help the cottage cheese hold its shape. Without the fat from cream providing natural structure, the curd mass needs a starch scaffold to behave like cottage cheese in the tub. Guar gum comes from guar beans and rebuilds the viscosity and cling that cream provides naturally. Locust bean gum, from carob seeds, does similar stabilization work alongside the guar gum. 2 separate gums are needed because neither one alone can fully replicate what cream does. They work together to patch a hole that cream used to fill entirely on its own. Then there's carrageenan, and this one has the most complicated story. Carrageenan is extracted from red seaweed and creates a gel structure in dairy products that maintains texture and prevents separation. The FDA considers it generally recognized as safe. On paper, that sounds like the conversation is over. It isn't. Animal studies have consistently shown that degraded carrageenan causes intestinal inflammation. In fact, researchers use carrageenan specifically to induce inflammation in animal models when they want to study gut damage. The food-grade carrageenan in Breakstones is the undegraded form, considered distinct from the degraded version. But in the acidic environment of the human digestive system, some independent researchers argue that food-grade carrageenan can partially degrade and produce similar inflammatory effects in sensitive individuals. The Cornucopia Institute has petitioned the FDA multiple times to remove carrageenan from food products. The National Organic Standards Board voted in 2016 to remove it from the National Organic Program. The USDA overruled that decision. The scientific debate is not settled. The ingredient is in your cottage cheese. And most people eating Breakstone's low-fat as their daily protein source have no idea they're consuming a substance with enough scientific controversy that organic certification bodies have tried to ban it twice. Hood, Knudsen, and every store-brand low-fat cottage cheese from Walmart to Kroger to Target made the same decision in a different tub. The specific gums vary slightly. One brand leans on carrageenan, another on guar gum, another on both, but the story behind every one of them is identical. The cream came out. The chemistry went in. Low-fat went on the front. Here's the part nobody tells you at the dairy case. Flip a tub of Breakstone's low-fat and a tub of Breakstone's full-fat side by side. Same brand, same aisle, same price range. The full-fat version: cultured milk, cream, salt. The low-fat version: cultured milk, cream, skim milk, whey, modified food starch, guar gum, locust bean gum, carrageenan, natamycin. The indulgent choice has 3 ingredients. The responsible choice has 10, including an antifungal drug and an ingredient that certification bodies have tried to ban twice. That's not a footnote. That's the entire story of low-fat cottage cheese on one shelf. The protein snack that became dessert without telling you. If low-fat cottage cheese is what happens when manufacturers remove fat and add chemistry, this type is what happens when they look at a clean protein food and decide it needs to be more fun. Flavored cottage cheese, the fruit on the bottom single-serve tubs, the dessert-style varieties with peach, strawberry, mango, and vanilla entered the market as a solution to a real problem. Plain cottage cheese can be bland, especially the low-fat version stripped of the cream that made it interesting. The solution was sugar. A lot of it. Dressed up as fruit, Muuna flavored cottage cheese is a premium-looking product, thick, glass-like plastic, clean single-serve design, flavors like pineapple, strawberry, peach, and mango arranged in a colorful lineup that suggests a health-forward snack brand doing something thoughtful. Open the pineapple Muuna, and what you're eating is plain cottage cheese topped with a pineapple preparation that contains pineapple, sugar, water, pectin, natural flavor, and citric acid. The natural flavor is doing work that real pineapple should be doing if there were enough of it. The sugar is turning a high-protein, low-carbohydrate food into something with 14 to 16 grams of sugar per serving. That's the sugar content of a standard flavored yogurt, which is to say, it's dessert. Breakstone's Cottage Doubles goes further. A split cup design with cottage cheese on one side and a fruit preparation on the other. The fruit side of some varieties contains high fructose corn syrup alongside the actual fruit. The protein snack half of your cup is sitting 2 centimeters away from a corn syrup fruit sauce. Daisy's flavored varieties and Friendship Dairy's fruit cottage cheese follow the same formula. Real fruit is in there. Modified starch, sugar, and natural flavor are in there doing the heavy lifting. If you're reaching for cottage cheese because you want 25 grams of protein with minimal sugar for breakfast, the plain full-fat version delivers that. The Muuna strawberry delivers that protein alongside 15 grams of sugar. Do that 5 mornings a week, and you've added 75 grams of sugar to your week before you've made a single other food decision. That's not a protein snack. That's protein as the excuse for dessert at 7 a.m. The packaging on flavored cottage cheese keeps high protein and live cultures prominent on the front. The sugar content sits in smaller type on the nutrition panel. The fruit photo implies freshness and naturalness. The ingredient list tells the actual story. Is the ingredient list longer than 5 items? Real cottage cheese needs milk, cream, salt, and maybe cultures. Every ingredient beyond that is compensating for something the manufacturing process removed or compromised. Do you see any of these words? Carrageenan, guar gum, locust bean gum, modified food starch, natamycin. These are the confession ingredients. Each one exists because cream was removed and something industrial had to take its place. Does it say low-fat or fat-free on the front? Then check the ingredient list before you assume it's cleaner. The full-fat version of the same brand is almost always the simpler product. The irony of the cottage cheese aisle is that the indulgent choice is usually the honest one. The indulgent choice that's actually the clean one. The most counterintuitive fact in the entire cottage cheese category is that the full-fat versions of the mainstream brands most people already buy are often genuinely honest products. Daisy full-fat cottage cheese is the baseline answer for most people reading this in a grocery store right now. Cultured skim milk, cream, salt. 3 ingredients, widely available, priced below most of the compromised versions next to it on the shelf. But here's what the full-fat label actually means beyond the short ingredient list. Full-fat cottage cheese has a meaningfully different nutritional profile than its low-fat counterpart, and not in the way most people expect. The fat in full-fat cottage cheese is primarily saturated dairy fat, which carries fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K that the low-fat version loses, along with the cream. Research over the last decade has substantially revised the relationship between full-fat dairy and cardiovascular health. Multiple large studies have found that full-fat dairy consumption is not associated with increased heart disease risk and may be associated with reduced risk of type 2 diabetes compared to low-fat dairy. The fat also matters for satisfaction. Full-fat cottage cheese keeps you full longer than low-fat cottage cheese because fat slows gastric emptying. The person eating Breakstone's low-fat as a protein snack and wondering why they're hungry again an hour later may be experiencing exactly that, a low-fat, low-satisfaction product that their body processes and moves through faster than the full-fat version would. Breakstones, Knudsen, and Hood all keep their full-fat versions clean for the same reason Daisy does, because the cream does the work, and nothing needs to compensate for its absence. Store-brand full-fat from Kroger, Target, and Walmart is usually just as clean. The irony of the cottage cheese aisle is that the buyer trying to be responsible reached for the tub with 10 ingredients and an antifungal drug. The buyer who just grabbed what tasted good took home milk, cream, and salt. When someone actually tried to fix the category. In 2015, Jesse Merrill and Chad Fowler looked at the cottage cheese aisle, at the Breakstones and Hood low-fat tubs, at the carrageenan and natamycin and modified food starch, and decided the entire category had drifted too far from what cottage cheese was supposed to be. They started good culture. The premise was simple. Cottage cheese should have 4 ingredients and nothing else. Whole milk, cream, salt, and live and active cultures, the bacterial strains that create genuine fermentation and real probiotic activity, rather than just the mild acidification that standard cottage cheese uses. Good culture, whole milk. Cottage cheese. Cultured whole milk, cream, salt, live, and active cultures. No gums, no starches, no natamycin, no carrageenan, no natural flavor doing the work of real dairy. The live cultures in good culture aren't just a label claim. They indicate genuine fermentation that produces a more complex flavor than acid-set cottage cheese and provides mild probiotic benefit. The texture is different too, slightly tangier with a creamier dressing, because whole milk instead of skim milk was used as the base. Good culture is now available at Target, Whole Foods, Kroger, and most major grocery chains. They proved that you could make cottage cheese at commercial scale with 4 ingredients, and that the category's drift toward industrial chemistry was a choice the big brands made, not an inevitability the category required. Nancy's Organic Cottage Cheese took the same position from a different direction. Nancy's has been making cultured dairy products in Eugene, Oregon since 1970, before live cultures was a marketing category, before organic was a grocery store section, before anyone thought to put probiotic claims on a tub of cottage cheese. Nancy's uses organic cultured skim milk, organic cream, salt, and live cultures. 4 ingredients, nothing else. The organic certification means something here because Nancy's owns the sourcing story from farm to tub. They haven't compromised the formula to hit a lower price point because the formula is the entire point of the brand. Organic Valley follows the same discipline. Their cottage cheese starts with pasture-raised milk from a farmer-owned cooperative that has maintained organic standards since 1988, one of the longest clean dairy track records in American grocery stores. Good Culture, Nancy's, and Organic Valley are 3 brands that looked at what the cottage cheese category had become and refused to go there. No gums, no antifungal drugs, no chemistry patching holes that the cream would have filled if anyone had left it alone. They proved the category didn't have to drift the way it did. The big brands made a choice. These 3 made a different one. The version that never needed a chemistry lab. At the top of the real cottage cheese category is a small group of products that look nothing like what Breakstone's makes, and everything like what cottage cheese looked like before it became an industrial product. Kalona SuperNatural out of Iowa is the clearest example of what happens when cottage cheese never takes the industrial detour. Organic grass-fed whole milk, organic cream, salt, live active cultures. The sourcing is traceable, the formula is unchanged from what small dairies were making a century ago, and the tub is available at Whole Foods and most natural grocery stores for anyone who wants it. Open one next to a Breakstone's low-fat, and the difference isn't subtle. Kalona's curds are irregular, different sizes, slightly loose in a rich cream dressing that smells like dairy, rather than like a refrigerated product. It looks handmade because the process that made it wasn't trying to produce 10,000 identical tubs. It was just trying to make cottage cheese. The reason Kalona doesn't need natamycin is the same reason your grandmother's cottage cheese didn't need it. A product made with real cream, sold fresh, and eaten within a week doesn't need an antifungal drug to survive. The drug exists because industrial cottage cheese has to survive a supply chain. Kalona's doesn't. Local dairy cottage cheese from farmers markets and small regional creameries operates on the same logic. Made in small batches, sold close to where it was made, eaten quickly. No cross-country truck ride requiring chemical preservation. No fat removal creating holes that gums have to fill. It's just cottage cheese, exactly as complicated as it needs to be, which turns out to be not very complicated at all. Cottage cheese is supposed to be one of the simplest foods in your refrigerator. Most of what's in the dairy aisle is not that. The low-fat tub looks responsible. The ingredient list tells a different story. The flavored tubs look like smart protein snacking. The sugar content turns a high-protein food into a morning dessert before most people have finished their coffee. On the other side, full-fat versions have 3 ingredients and cost less than most of the compromised versions next to it on the shelf. Tonight, before you go to bed, go to your refrigerator and flip your cottage cheese tub around. If you see carrageenan, natamycin, guar gum, or modified food starch, you've been eating chemistry where the cream used to be. You don't have to give up cottage cheese. You just have to find the tub that still remembers what it is. Comment B2E if you made it to the end. Thanks for watching.